The Dehal Puja of the Karbis and the Batho Puja of the Boros were more common in Guwahati than Durga Puja. Guwahati was once full of wetlands where tribal people used to go for fishing in a community organized fishing fest like this. Remnants of their legacy can still be found in these tribal temples found in several parts of the city. When the new capital of Assam was established in Guwahati, the present areas of Guwahati was part of the South Kamrup tribal belt. Guwahati was once a tribal city. Actually, a large part of Guwahati was inhabited by tribal Karbi and Boro people. Hengrabari, Borbari, Narengi were Karbi localities. Beltola, Lokhra, Gorchuk were Boro areas. Kahilipara was Rabha dominated. The present generation of Guwahatians should be grateful to them because they have let us establish the sprawling city that Guwahati is now. Even some historians believe that the Deeporbil area was under the control of the Khasi chiefs called CM. Guwahati was once part of South Kamrup tribal belt. What happened to this belt? What happened to the majority of tribal people of Guwahati and their lands? These tribal people of Guwahati were simple and innocent, unlike the Jat and Gujjar landholders of Noida and Gurgaon. Whereas the Gurgaon and Noida landowners have become millionaires. Guwahati tribal population have been pushed to corners and periphery. Many have lost their land. Younger generation cannot even speak Boro or Karbi language. Many are struggling to even survive. Some of them have even left the urban space. The first blow to the tribal people of Guwahati was in the year 1962 when a major oil refinery was established. Around 4,000 acres of land was acquired to establish the Indian Oil Refinery at Narangi in Guwahati, which led to the displacement of mostly Karbi and Boro population of that area. Maximum number of displaced tribal people were settled around Ojuri forest in Nagaon, and they have even named their village as Narangi. Compensation was very little and not enough, as compensation is given to the individually owned property only. Most of the Karbi and Boro tribal people used to live in community controlled land. The tribal people had no individual land rights for these community assets like open fields, wetlands, ponds, etc., which were managed by community based customary law. And the government didn't recognize community rights on those lands and considered them as state property. 85% of the land used by Nunmati Guwahati refinery was common, hence the tribal Karbi people did not get accurate compensation. The oil refinery displaced 1,000 Karbi and Boro families but counted only 160 land owning families as displaced and excluded most of the tribals. Save this video and share because we must know that our tribal ancestors left us valuable land assets in the form of a growing city. The Dehal Puja of the Karbis and the Batho Puja of the Boros were more common in Guwahati than Durga Puja. Guwahati was once full of wetlands where tribal people used to go for fishing in a community organized fishing fest like this. Remnants of their legacy can still be found in these tribal temples found in several parts of the city. These temples are not new, some of them are more than 200 years old. So whenever you see these tribal temples, you must know that they are part of Guwahati's history and legacy. Mikir Pot, Karbi Pot, Kachari Basti, Gahori Kota Soup, Rongkimi, etc. Even the name Japorigog itself is of Karbi origin. The word Hengrabari is Boro origin. Hengra means barrier in Boro language. The rampant urbanization and expansion of Guwahati have totally emptied Guwahati of its tribal population. People have almost forgotten about the tribal past of Guwahati. The name Dispur is of Boro Kachari origin. D in Boro means water, so Dispur literally means a market near water. Many, of course, also says that Dispur is the shortened version of Pragjyotishpur, the old name of Guwahati as per the ancient Hindu texts. Ask any Karbi elder in Hengrabari area. They will tell you that another name of Hengrabari was Polokheti. because the fishes found in Hasorabil, the wetland in that area, were so big that while fishing, the fish nets called polo in Assamese would break. In Assamese, polo khai diye, which became polo kheti. However, this wetland itself is no longer there as it was filled up with land to accommodate the increasing population. This not only affected the ones who earned their livelihood through fishing, but also the very name of the place, which represents this relation with the nature, is not relevant anymore. New people started coming into these areas from all over Assam and Shillong. They worked in government offices and needed a place to stay nearby because connectivity with the rest of Guwahati was not good then. These government officials offered money to buy portions of land. Since the tribal people had hardly dealt with money frequently till then, small sum of money also seemed a big deal. Many Karbi tribal people have admitted that they were not educated enough and they thought that having money was more important than having land because that was the direction in which development was heading. Karbi and Boro elders of the area says that whenever the Mojadars, the revenue officers, came to record the land holdings or to collect taxes, we used to run and hide because we were never sure what trouble we might get in and we hardly used to have any cash with us. We lost a lot of our land because of this. Later, when new people purchased these lands, we got to know that large portions of our lands were recorded in government record as unoccupied and saleable land. When the new capital of Assam was established in Guwahati, the present areas of Guwahati was part of the South Kamrup tribal belt. Refer to this Government of Assam notification dated February 1950. Maligaon, Jalukbari, Kumarpara, Sarania, Ulubari, Bamuni Moitam, Nunmati, Lotakil, and Kharguli were all part of the tribal belt, which is called the South Kamrup Guwahati tribal belt. Original areas in this belt was approx 8 lakhs bighas of land. A tribal belt is a larger area whereas a tribal block is a smaller area. Tribal belts and blocks were created to protect land ownership of people belonging to tribal and backward classes and to ensure the encroachment does not take place by outsiders. Now you will find only concrete jungles in these areas. Most of the properties are now owned by non-tribals. During this shift, when the city underwent major infrastructural change in order to meet the requirement of land for the new capital, the protected areas falling under the South Kamrup tribal belt was de-reserved and a large swath of agricultural land was converted to non-agricultural land. More than 7 lakh bighas of land from the tribal belt was de-reserved from the protected status in preparation for setting up the capital hub. Karbi and Boro tribal communities used to own common community areas. Concept of private ownership of land was rare. They were never clever like the Jat and Gujjar landowners of North India. The tribal belt areas consisted of agricultural land and common property resources such as lakes and ponds, grazing grounds, and community forests. Without land ownership documents, the claims of indigenous communities were undermined and such land became accessible in the market due to the dereservation. The change in the land use pattern led to a major change in the demographic from indigenous agriculture-based population to accommodate the newly emerging administrative and business classes.